The trailer to Insomniac's Wolverine is finally here. Since its reveal in 2021, we have had radio silence from Insomniac on this game. Apart from the huge Insomniac leaks a few years ago, there had been no hint of if or when this game would come out. Now that it's finally here and we have an official release window, I'd like to dive into the trailer. I like to give my thoughts on what I liked and didn't like, and what I hope they improve on their formula that they used for the past 3 Spider-Man games. I'm also going to go over some highlights of mine from this state of play and give my thoughts on those games as well. Without further ado, let's get into the video. At first glance, I thought the trailer was pretty good, but once I finished watching the trailer, I left not as excited as I hoped I would be. I think this is due to a multitude of reasons. Mainly the length of time it's been between this trailer and the announcement, along with me personally having some Insomniac fatigue from having 3 straight Spider-Man games that play pretty similarly. But regardless of that, I think this game looks great, and we'll get into why I think that in a second. First off, they definitely nailed the look of Wolverine. I think it's definitely difficult to create an appealing Wolverine in such a realistic fashion, since we've only had Hugh Jackman as a live-action Wolverine. I think a lot of people are just so ingrained in the fact that he should look exactly like Hugh Jackman that it makes it difficult people to accept a new take on the character. I definitely like that they kept him like stocky like he is in the comics, and not the tall build that Hugh Jackman has normalized. I really want to be able to feel the weight of his attacks in this game more than Spider-Man for sure. I think with all of the haptics and speakers that the PlayStation 5 controller has, it could do a really good job at immersing you into feeling that you are Wolverine. I hope they utilize this speaker for every slash with his claws. I hope with the adaptive triggers and the HD rumble in the controller, you can feel the pushback when you slice through an enemy. I think it would be really cool if you would use like the right trigger for his right arm and the left trigger for his left arm when you're attacking, just so you could use those triggers and make it feel like you can control which arm does what. I'm sure it'll probably just be a button masher like Spider-Man, but I definitely hope the combat is more nuanced than that, as it could get really repetitive over the years. I like the designs for the main characters so far in this, including Omega Red, but I'm not a fan of how every character in Insomniac games have to have some like cybernetic gear within them. I feel like every other enemy in Spider-Man, and even in this trailer, have like some RGB lights on them or something, or have some robotic arm or something. Even like the foot soldiers are just like super futuristic, and I get that that's their style, but I just am not that big of a fan of it, and appreciate the modern day like realistic soldiers and stuff more. They could play into this and have Silver Sable or something behind it all. I can't really remember what happened to her in Spider-Man 1, but that would be cool, I guess. But back to more positives, I think regardless of design, that being able to go to these different places like Japan and Canada will make the game feel way more fresh compared to the Spider-Man entries all being in New York. Above all, I hope the story is good. I feel like with Spider-Man PS4, Insomniac kind of had lightning in a bottle, and that's still like my favorite Spider-Man story to date, but I feel like the quality of the writing has slowly diminished over the years. Now this could just be because they were working on just Spider-Man for so long, and hopefully being able to work with an entirely new character with an entirely new cast of characters around him, that they could make this into something very refreshing. I'm excited to see what they do with the open world, or even if it is open world, since we haven't seen much of how their design translates to something like an empty forest or just an open space, since most of the encounters in Spider-Man were within a building or in a city. I really liked the regular suburbs missions of Spider-Man 2 just because they felt different than just swinging around in the city. Hopefully they take those elements and apply them here. I hope that we get to play as Mystique at some point in this. I think that could be really cool just with her shape-shifting abilities, and we could actually have some interesting stealth missions which I think they slowly got better at between Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2. Those MJ missions in the first game were unplayable in my opinion, and in the second game they weren't nearly as bad because they gave her like a stun gun and you could do way more with her. Finally, I hope we get a lot of like pop-ins from different X-Men in this game. It was leaked that they are working on an X-Men game in the future, and it would be really cool to just get some like teasers as to who we could see in this universe, and maybe even see some characters from around Marvel that we wouldn't expect. I assume this is in the Spider-Man universe just because the tech looks the same and everything, but it would be cool if we got like maybe like on a stray TV you could see Spider-Man swinging in New York or something saying like he retired or something. That would be cool. But yeah, overall I'm pretty optimistic on this game. After watching the trailer a few times and talking with it now, I'm feeling better than I did the first time I watched it. But I really just want to play the game already. It's been way too long, and we need some new PlayStation first party games already. But I can't say much because Ghost of Yote is coming out in like a week, so. Next, let's talk about Saros. So this is coming from Housemarque Games, who made the game Returnal. I haven't played this myself, but I've heard it's really good. I was really into Destiny growing up, and this game kind of has a similar art direction, it seems, along with the combat and fact that it's third-person shooters, which I'm more of a fan of nowadays than first-person. I'm pretty excited for this game. The movement looks pretty crazy. It looks like the speed of like Gears of War, but without like the mantling and stuff. But with this being a roguelike, I think that they could get pretty crazy with the mechanics in this, and especially if the story is good, this could be a potential Game of the Year candidate. But obviously no one's beating GTA 6, so I wish I had more to say about this game, but since I haven't played Returnal and I haven't played any other Housemarque games, I don't really have much more to say at this time. But I'm looking forward to playing it next year for sure. This next game took me by surprise and probably stood out more than any other besides Wolverine. When the trailer first started, I was like, oh, here's another JRPG that I'll never play. But once it showed the actual gameplay, I was like, holy crap, this is literally like my type of game. The game definitely takes inspiration from Hollow Knight. As you can see, its attack and some of the environment looks similar. But the art style looks so cool, and the fact that you're on paper, it's like another game called, I think, The Plucky Squire, that I never ended up playing, but I really wanted to play because it's Zelda-like. But it is like you're playing on paper. But it's just so cool how creative this is, and I don't think we've ever gotten anything like medieval art style. Since I've been playing a lot of Metroidvanias in the past year, this is definitely on my radar, and I think it should be on yours too, especially if you liked Hollow Knight. This just seems like it's going to take that hand-drawn art style to another level, and I'm excited to see what they can do with it. Lastly, I wanted to rapid fire off a few things that I found interesting but not enough to talk about for a long. First off, the Battlefield 6 campaign surprised me. I usually don't care about any first-person shooter campaigns or anything, but this one actually looked decent. I was definitely gonna get Battlefield 6 because the beta was pretty fun, and I just need more games to play with my friends because I'm more of like a single player guy. But yeah, that looked cool. Also, the studio who made Disco Elysium is making a new game. I didn't want to touch on that much because I've barely played Disco Elysium, even though I've owned it forever. I might make a video on that after I beat Disco Elysium. And then they announced these speakers that easily transfer between your PlayStation and PC, and they're specifically made for like playing games, and if they're not too expensive, I think I would probably end up getting those, just because I don't really have any speakers right now. Well, I do, but they're not small enough to fit on my desk. But being able to switch between PS5 and PC audio that easily would be really nice. And lastly, oh my god, First off, I just pre-ordered the Astrobot Wave 2 controller, and now they announced this Kratos 20th anniversary God of War controller, and it's literally like the coolest one they've released. It's only like a red stripe, but the simplicity just makes it so cool. I have the God of War, here, I'll get it real quick. Yeah, I have a big controller collection as it is, but this is the God of War Ragnarok controller that came out alongside the game. But the last thing I need is more PlayStation 5 controllers, but I don't care. Here's my Spider-Man one, and then the 30th anniversary one. But I'm gonna do a video later going through my collection just cause I can. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys are excited for these games coming out soon. Specifically Wolverine, and give me your thoughts below of what you liked and disliked about the trailer, what you liked and disliked about previous Insomniac titles, and just give me your thoughts and overall impressions on my video and of all the games you saw at the State of Play today. Feel free to comment game suggestions down below, and also any video ideas that you think I should do. I think my next few videos will be centered around the new Skate game. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.